From the News Channel 5 network, this is Pharmacist on Call.
Good evening, Nashville, Middle Tennessee, Southern Kentucky, those of you as far west as Jackson, those of you as far east as McMinnville. Welcome to Pharmacist on Call with your host, Dr. Sean Pruitt. And if you're watching this show, I am your community pharmacist. Everyone, welcome to the November edition of Pharmacist on Call. This is your 1 hour forum where you get to ask any question that you want. We know that your doctors are busy and the pharmacists where you get your meds are busy, and they don't have time. But for this 1 hour every month, I do. This is our community service sponsored by Pruitt's Discount Pharmacy, the pharmacy choice for the uninsured. And this is where you get to ask me anything A to Z, health conditions, medicines, herbal supplements. And we've had y'all, actually, you all have asked me some of everything, probably not even health related. But this is your show, so you call in with whatever you want to ask. Rule number one, there are no silly questions, so feel free to ask, and as history has bared out, that those who ask questions, it probably has blessed someone else who thought it was silly as well. All right, so we are going to open our beginning of our fall show. So I hope, my favorite season, by the way. So hopefully you all are enjoying the change of colors of the leaves, slight dropping of the temperature. I could really do upper 60s myself. All right, so we want to get into some birthdays here. First, we want to say happy birthday to my line brother, Richard Ray, to my chapter brother, Eric Stevens, and to my cousin, Barrett Battle. And we wanted to extend our condolences to the Blackman family on the passing of Miss Martha Blackman about a month or so ago. And she's probably one of my longest serving patients since the early days of Pruitt's Discount Pharmacy. So we want to say condolences to her. Looks like she was a casualty of COVID-19. All right, so with it being November the month of November, it is Diabetes Awareness Month. And so we want to kind of take a minute to think about a disease that really has wreaked havoc, especially in the South, on Americans. So Diabetes Awareness Day is actually November the 14th. And this is the day, apparently, that Sir Frederick Banting and Charles Best discovered insulin. So the hormone which suppresses our blood sugar. So for those of you, especially during COVID season, we really want to take care of ourselves, especially for those of us who are diabetics, because that is a comorbidity that the virus uses to kill you. All right. In fact, speaking of that, let's talk about a couple of herbs. We'll talk about a couple of herbs or supplements that we've seen have been very beneficial with diabetes. Also wanted to make an announcement here. We are having a stroke awareness event. Now, Stroke Awareness Month was last month, around actually just a few days ago on the 29th of October. But we'll have some students from the University of Tennessee College of Pharmacy, my alma mater, go Big Orange. They will be at the pharmacy on November the 12th from 9 a.m. to 3 p.m. and they will be educating patients about how to prevent strokes and how to notice the signs and symptoms. They will also be doing blood pressure and diabetes screening, so these are for free. So if you guys want to come by, if you're in the area, come and get a free screening and come get some education about strokes. Again, another condition that's very important right about now, because we see that COVID-19 thickens the blood, causes blood clots, and a lot of people have passed away from strokes. Okay, let's see. And I did want to talk about a service that we are going to be offering. So you guys know that we offer COVID-19 testing. We offer COVID vaccines. We just started our booster program. So for those of you who got your Moderna or your Johnson & Johnson shots from us, or really anybody, if you're needing a booster. All right, we're going to pause there for a second because we got Mike on line one. Pharmacist on Call, may I help you?
Good evening, Dr. Pruitt. The reason for my call tonight, recently I saw on a national publication that there's this antidepressant called fluoxetine, something similar to that.
Fluoxetine.
Is that, yeah, fluoxetine, exactly, and that it could be beneficial in helping to prevent COVID in some cases, and based on your experience, and I know you're well read on everything that's new in the pharma world, big pharma world, What do you think about that? Is it still too early to really recommend people who may also be suffering from depression, which is basically what it was primarily for when it was released to the market? And I'll just hang up and listen for your answer and comment. Thank you.
Okay. All right. Very good question. And I was just getting ready to research today. So you would ask me the one thing I did not research, fluvoxamine, but the source that it comes from, I get a lot of my information from those doctors and I trust what they say. So it looks like fluvoxamine, Fluvoxamine, not fluoxetine, different drug, that's Prozac. So it looks like it does show promise in the, I believe it was for prevention. So I'm gonna look into that, probably do a video on it outside of this and then post it to the Pharmacist on Call page, since you asked about it specifically. There are a number of things out there that have shown promise against COVID-19. You know, your ivermectins, I know y'all gonna get mad, your hydroxychloroquines, Dr. Pruitt's potion. So there are a number of things out there that show promise, but the issue is none of them are billion-dollar money makers. So like our vaccines are. So if the data is out there, I trust it, especially for a drug that is potentially safe, easy to access, and doesn't cause a burden on the pharmaceutical supply chain. I think it's worth looking at. Again, I'm going to dig into the data on fluvoxamine before I give my yay or nay on it. But from the docs who've done the research, I trust them. So I will preemptively say I think it's okay, but by the time the next show rolls around, based on what I find, then my opinion may have changed. But great question, by the way. And we may, in fact, on the next show, we'll talk about all the alternative medications that are already out there, because they've run COVID-19 a series of tests basically against every darn thing, every drug out there. And that's why we're discovering, oh, hey, this shows promise right here. All right, so COVID-19, we're going to go in depth next month. But great question. All right, so like I was saying, we do testing, we do the COVID-19 vaccines, and if you need a booster, we are offering those for Moderna and Johnson & Johnson. I know that they said mix and match. We're not doing that. I don't trust that. So if you want a booster, if you had Moderna at first, you can get Moderna. But if you had Pfizer, you're gonna have to find somewhere else to go. J&J, I believe it's 2 months out. If you had your shot like 2 months ago, then you can come and get your booster now. But those of you who have Moderna or Pfizer, the wait is 6 months after your second dose. So if that is a timeline that you got your second dose, feel free to stop by Pruitt's Discount Pharmacy or Pruitt's Pharmacy at Napier Clinic. Dr. McKenzie would love to see you out there as well. In addition to the boosters, we are going to offer something called monoclonal antibodies, or Regeneron, or Regencov. And this is part of the treatment that President Trump received when he had gotten sick. He got Regeneron and remdesivir. So what Regeneron is, Regencov is, it's two monoclonal antibodies, casirivimab and imdevimab. And what they do is they are manufactured antibodies that attack COVID-19 at two different binding sites. So you get a 2-for-1. So whereas you may have one monoclonal antibody and then COVID can become resistant to it, this has two antibodies attacking it, decreasing the likelihood of resistance. So we're going to be offering those either in IV infusion, which takes about 30 minutes or so, and then we will observe you. So we're in the process of setting up our appointments. Right now, they look like we're gonna be doing our appointments from 3 p.m. to 6 p.m. So for those of you who contract COVID-19 within 10 days, and within 10 days of you having your symptoms, we give you these to prevent you from going to the hospital. It is primarily for people who are high risk, and we want to keep them out of the hospital. So people with suppressed immune systems, people with heart disease, people who are morbidly obese, just a number of different health conditions. And this is for pretty much everybody. It's pretty much for the unvaccinated, because presumably the vaccinated crowd would have protection. We also use it for what we call post-exposure prophylaxis. So if you came in contact with someone, then you would receive this infusion to keep you from developing it. if you understand that. So prophylaxis means to prevent or preemptively prevent COVID-19. But if you have questions about monoclonal antibody therapy, then certainly give us a call at the pharmacy. The producer is going to post that information. I'm going to get into it a little bit right after this break, so you guys stay right there.